This process helps reintroduce order where disorder has taken root. It creates stability for others as well. It sets a visible standard of clear behavior in a situation that may feel chaotic. People watch this example and find a model for how to proceed with calm and direction. This usefulness also requires humility. You are not always the one with answers. You do not need to be in charge to be valuable. The Stoic adapts to his role based on the needs of the moment. One day you may lead, another day you may assist. Either way, you do what contributes. You do not assume the spotlight. You evaluate what is most effective. You offer support quietly when needed. You speak briefly when the situation calls for it. You show others that the goal is the common good, not recognition. This helps preserve group cohesion. It reduces tension. It allows teams, families, and communities to stay focused on shared effort instead of personal standing. To cultivate this mindset, begin each day with a practical inquiry. Ask yourself, what is the environment around me today? What specific problems are visible? What simple, useful role can I take on? Then look for where effort is missing. Identify what others have overlooked or avoided. Step into that gap. It may be a small gesture, a message sent, a room cleaned, a silence broken with calm reassurance. It may be a task that takes time. Either way, the value comes from the act itself, not from how it is received. Do the work quietly. Do not wait for approval before beginning. Make the act its own measure of usefulness. When something needs to be done, and you can do it well. When you complete it, move to the next task that needs attention. This process reinforces your ability to stay grounded in movement and purpose. It frees you from the trap of emotional frustration that comes from unmet expectations. The world may remain uncertain. Conditions may continue to change without warning. Stability may not return in the time frame people expect. Patterns may remain broken for long stretches. External structures may shift without notice. Still, usefulness remains available. The need for reliable action never disappears. In every situation, there are tasks that preserve stability. There are actions that give shape to the moment. There are roles that prevent further collapse. Some people bring food, others bring clarity, others bring calm. Each of these is a necessary form of contribution. There are always ways to be useful. The Stoic looks for them rather than waiting to be asked. He recognizes that usefulness is measured by impact, not attention. Even when the broader situation is unclear, there are small, specific things that hold value. A broken process can be improved. A confused group can be centered. A neglected responsibility can be carried. When you remain prepared to contribute in these ways, you do not drift into helplessness. You keep yourself anchored in what can be done. You focus your attention on your part, however limited it may seem. This approach creates motion in environments where others are stuck. When people freeze or fall into despair, useful effort becomes even more visible. The person who stays ready becomes the one others can lean on. You set the pace for recovery even if it is slow. You reduce disorder not by fixing everything, but by doing something with intention. You stay aligned with your role while others react emotionally. You create purpose within disruption. This mindset does not depend on ideal circumstances. It does not wait for certainty. It relies on internal readiness. When you decide in advance to be useful, you act as soon as the opportunity appears. You step forward without hesitation. You take on what others avoid. You direct your attention toward what helps. This brings order to your own thinking. It also sets a standard for others to follow. When you maintain this posture, it helps your community. People notice when someone works without needing approval. They notice when someone stays focused while others panic. Over time, this attitude builds trust. It improves morale. It spreads discipline. The result is not just personal resilience, but shared improvement. One person's steady example can stabilize a room, a family, or a team. Usefulness also protects your inner resources. It narrows your focus to what matters. It keeps you from wasting time on empty speculation or blame. It shifts attention from outcomes to contribution. This strengthens your purpose. It gives you something to return to when everything else is uncertain. This is how the Stoic remains active during crisis. He watches his environment carefully. He notices changes in pace, tone, and need. He sees what is missing and prepares himself to respond. He does not wait for direction before becoming engaged. He applies his attention to what can be done now. He does not allow uncertainty to freeze his judgment. He selects the next task with care and carries it out completely. He organizes his thinking before offering help. He remains available without seeking attention. He does not attach his actions to recognition. His contribution is guided by responsibility, not by status. He fills the role that supports the structure, whether seen or unseen. This allows him to remain focused when others drift. He does not withdraw when conditions shift. He evaluates what needs support and takes the step that strengthens the whole. He holds his energy steady by limiting distractions. He protects his discipline through simplicity. Each time he responds with clarity, he strengthens his internal rhythm. This rhythm is not fixed in routine. It is shaped by the needs of the day. The Stoic adjusts without losing purpose. He does not follow urgency, but clarity. He remains present with his task. He keeps his actions tied to what is useful. This creates forward motion. Even if progress is slow, it is consistent. Even if others stop moving, he continues. Peace for the Stoic is not based on outcome. It is the result of self-governed behavior. It is the quiet confidence that comes from effort made with integrity. It is the stability formed by acting from principles, not impulses. Through usefulness, the Stoic restores his place in the world around him. He remains part of the solution. He protects his purpose by acting where action is needed most. This is how the Stoic sustains direction in crisis. He does not wait for calm to return. He becomes the calm through what he chooses to do. He maintains order within his own behavior. He steps forward with precision. He reinforces his values with consistent effort. He contributes where others hesitate. He leads by action. Through this, he continues to move with intention, guided by duty, anchored by discipline. Chapter 8. Endure with character. Endurance is more than waiting. It is maintaining your standard of behavior during hardship. It is the will to continue acting with discipline when conditions no longer reward it. The Stoic endures with character. He does not adjust his values to match his surroundings. He carries them through difficulty. In uncertain times, many shift their behavior. Some abandon what they know is right to get quick results. Others grow bitter or silent. The Stoic holds to his principles. He keeps his speech measured, his actions thoughtful, and his motives aligned. This does not remove the difficulty, but it protects his self-respect. Character is tested through pressure. The more intense the environment, the more revealing your behavior becomes. Decisions made during ease do not carry the same weight as those made under strain. When you face resistance, your discipline becomes visible. When time is limited or resources are low, your instincts appear. These moments do not invent character. They expose what has been built over time. That is why the Stoic repeats foundational practices. He applies effort when conditions are neutral, so he can act with precision when they are not. His courage is formed through regular trials. His moderation is shaped by daily restraint. His sense of justice is confirmed through consistent fairness. His wisdom is tested through choice. Endurance also needs order. It does not grow from emotion alone. It requires a framework that supports clarity. This is why rhythm matters. Morning practices sharpen the mind before the day begins. Physical training strengthens resolve through movement. Stillness in the afternoon calms the nervous system. Reviewing choices in the evening reveals progress and error. These repeated behaviors hold the mind in alignment. They create space to think clearly and to decide carefully, even when external pressures demand speed or reaction. The Stoic knows that endurance has a limit. Pressure, stress, and difficulty cannot be carried forever without rest. He understands that no condition is permanent. He does not expect pain to end quickly, but he does recognize that it will change. Circumstances will shift. The phase of hardship will eventually move into something new. Time alters conditions even when progress feels slow or uncertain. He prepares to meet each moment of difficulty with consistency, knowing that how he acts during pressure becomes part of his long-term mindset. Every choice made under strain contributes to an internal record. Each time you respond with patience, every time you maintain discipline, you reinforce a pattern of behavior that shapes future action. Your mind retains those decisions. The habits you strengthen during high stress do not disappear once the crisis ends. They remain in your character and become part of how you approach the next test. The way you speak during tension, the way you handle tasks, the way you maintain relationships, all of this reflects your training. Look at whether your decisions were grounded in your values or influenced by emotion. Track your ability to stay clear and stable. This process does not aim to create guilt. It provides structure for improvement. When you find moments of strength, mark them. When you see something that needs correction, plan a new response for the next day. This slow, steady refinement helps maintain clarity through ongoing stress. Endurance becomes reliable strength when it is paired with reflection. Each time you remain present, carry out your duties, and keep your principles intact, you prove that your discipline is real. External conditions may remain difficult, support may be limited, plans may continue to break, but your actions remain centered. Repeating this process builds a dependable identity. It makes your choices predictable in the best sense. Others know they can count on your steadiness, and you begin to trust it too. Reliability does not appear without repetition. It must be reinforced through consistent choices over time. The ability to remain firm under pressure becomes a regular part of your approach. You respond clearly without needing conditions to change. You move through responsibility without relying on immediate rewards. You build a durable framework that holds when instability increases. This is the Stoic path through difficulty. He relies on structure, not mood. He acts based on principle, not approval. He prepares through reflection. He makes choices with care. He applies what he practices. This approach keeps him aligned when external circumstances shift. It makes his strength visible through his consistency. When hardship returns, he is not beginning from inexperience. He continues from repetition. His actions are shaped by what he has already trained. Each challenge adds to that process. Each response deepens his resolve. Through steady application, the Stoic builds a reliable life that endures beyond crisis, one decision at a time. Chapter 9. Maintain discipline under distraction. In uncertain times, distraction multiplies. News cycles accelerate. Opinions compete. Plans shift quickly. Notifications, headlines, and interruptions make it harder to stay focused. The mind scatters. Attention weakens. People look for updates instead of looking inward. The Stoic does the opposite. He narrows his focus. He strengthens his discipline. Discipline is not created in crisis. It is revealed. When conditions are stable, it is easy to keep a routine. When conditions break down, that routine must be preserved through effort. The Stoic trains for this. He prepares to act with structure even when his environment becomes disordered. He treats attention as a limited resource. He does not give it away freely. He chooses what to focus on and protects it from intrusion. You do not need to block out the world entirely. You need to manage your inputs. You need to decide what deserves your time and what does not. Start each day with a clear objective. Choose the 3 tasks that matter most. Return to them when your attention is pulled away. Avoid consuming information that leads only to reaction. Choose sources that provide clarity. Choose actions that build strength. When distraction rises, return to your structure. The Stoic uses physical movement, stillness, and silence to sharpen the mind. These are not random preferences. They are deliberate tools used to structure attention. Movement clears stagnation from the body and sharpens awareness. A morning walk or short physical training session activates discipline through motion. Stillness provides mental space. It creates the environment needed to observe, to evaluate, and to focus without interruption. Silence removes the noise that pushes the mind toward reaction. When combined, these 3 habits strengthen clarity. The Stoic wakes early. The early morning holds fewer distractions. It offers space for reflection before external demands begin. Rising early sets the tone for a structured day. It reinforces priority over passivity. He walks with intention. This is not movement for entertainment, but for alignment. A deliberate walk becomes a time to review one's state of mind, adjust breathing, and organize thought. He practices limits. This includes how he eats, how he speaks, and how he uses his time. These constraints reduce excess and preserve mental energy. Each of these small behaviors serves a larger function. They act as cues. They bring the mind back to its role. They restore control when attention drifts by building daily rituals around these habits. The Stoic keeps the mind clear. He protects it from becoming overburdened by stimulation. These actions reduce clutter. They allow for deeper thought. They offer moments where the mind can reflect and reset. Repeating them makes them stronger. Each repetition builds consistency. That consistency creates a framework that holds steady during unpredictable times. Distraction will not vanish. The modern world ensures that information, opinions, and entertainment are constantly available. What matters is not removing all input, but managing it with purpose. The Stoic accepts that attention must be guarded. He remains watchful of how he spends each hour. When the mind is pulled away, he does not follow that pull without questioning. He recognizes the drift, stops, and returns to his task. This return is a discipline in itself. Every return strengthens control. Every interruption that is paused instead of indulged is a small step toward clarity. You will be pulled in many directions. People will demand responses. Devices will compete for attention. Plans will change quickly. Focus will weaken. When this happens, you must choose to stay with what matters. Identify the work that holds value. When your mind drifts, pull it back. When your focus breaks, pause and re-enter. When noise fills your surroundings, protect your concentration by reducing unnecessary input. Lower your voice. Slow your movement. Direct your energy toward the task in front of you. Each moment reclaimed is a statement of control. Each hour guarded is an act of preservation. When repeated, these actions protect your day from being lost to distraction. They turn chaos into structure. They give you an advantage when others become reactive. This is how the Stoic remains focused. He chooses what to engage with. He reinforces discipline through simple, repeatable steps. He acts from structure, not urgency. In doing so, he remains steady while others are pulled apart by interruption. Chapter 10. Return to principles daily. In uncertain times, clarity fades quickly. Decisions must be made without full information. Plans often change before they can be completed. Emotions rise without warning. These conditions challenge even the most disciplined person. The Stoic answers this challenge by returning to principles each day. Principles are not vague ideals. They are specific standards of conduct. They guide behavior. They anchor judgment. They give direction when outcomes remain unclear. The Stoic does not carry every decision in his mind. He carries a small set of values that inform each decision. This allows him to move with purpose even when the path shifts. Daily practice is essential. The Stoic reflects each morning on how to act with courage, justice, moderation, and wisdom. These are not abstract concepts. They are applied through choices. Courage is shown in speaking honestly. Justice is shown in fulfilling obligations. Moderation is shown in resisting excess. Wisdom is shown in asking what matters most. In the evening, the Stoic reviews. He compares his behavior to his principles. He asks if he stayed aligned. This review is direct and simple. It does not dwell on emotion. It checks for accuracy. Where alignment was kept, he strengthens it. Where it was lost, he identifies the cause and adjusts. This process builds reliability. It replaces confusion with structure. It reduces overthinking. Each day becomes a chance to practice. Each difficulty becomes an opportunity to return to what is stable. The Stoic does not attempt to predict the future. He prepares to act well regardless of it. To apply this, write down your principles. Keep them short. Review them each morning. Use them to shape your intent for the day. In the evening, ask where they showed up in your actions. Over time, this rhythm creates mental clarity and behavioral consistency. Returning to principles daily is how the Stoic maintains identity under pressure. It is how he avoids being shaped by stress. It is how he stays calm in uncertainty. Principles give him a fixed point when everything else moves. Through this practice, he remains the same person regardless of the situation.